Welcome to an all-new episode of Her Playbook. The Her Playbook podcast is presented by Kendra Scott. Game day just got personal. Find your winning look at Kendra Scott, where team spirit meets personal style. Shop jewelry, accessories, and more at your New York area Kendra Scott store or online at kendrascott.com. I'm Madelyn Burke, and I'm thrilled to be joined on this episode of Her Playbook by Bianca Peart. Bianca is a sports journalist, an educational professional, and also co-founder of Bold and Brilliant Life, which we see on your shirt here. Bianca, first of all, you're repping Bold and Brilliant Life, so let's start there. Talk to me about what this is. I know it's a podcast, but also it gives back.
It gives back, and it's really my life mantra to live a bold and brilliant life. Growing up, I was an only child, very shy, and I felt like, my voice, I wouldn't say it felt like it wasn't really being heard, or I felt like, those quiet whispers, oh, you can dance in front of people, or you can like speak out in the classroom. I just felt so shy and didn't feel that way. So as I gotten older, I realized every time I took a bold or brilliant step, whether it was going up to a stranger or, going to even grad school, that's when opportunities unlocked. So bold and brilliant life is my mantra to literally live that bold and brilliant life, step out of your comfort zone, and you'd be surprised what happens to you when you do these things. Because as a shy person, I never thought I'd be in a space where I'm speaking a lot.
Right.
It's like the very thing you think you're scared of is that one thing that could be your talent or your opportunity to expand and uplift. So the Bold and Brilliant Life, I have a podcast where I speak with athletes and sports professionals about their journeys and how they've made bold and brilliant career moves. But what's deep in my heart, as who takes education seriously, I work with kids, I work with students and youth camps on how to develop a bold and brilliant life mindset, because it's all about your identity.
Yeah.
It's, getting into that mindset that really unlocks everything. So I have an opportunity to go to youth camps or speak in classrooms and, put a framework together to instill the confidence and the tools on how to be a bold and brilliant person.
It is interesting because, it's one thing for as an inherently shy person to say, okay, I'm going to step out of my comfort zone in certain instances. But you've pursued a career outside of your comfort zone as a not only a journalist, but a host, an in arena host, which, as somebody who is a front facing personality as well, I still get a little bit nervous in like, all right, it's one thing to be in a room with some cameras and you can be on there. But, when you're in an arena like you do with the Long Island Nets and you're gassing people up, that's a big it's a big step for somebody who's inherently shy.
It is a big step, and I think what I notice, it's like it's electrifying. It's like transferring energy.
Mm.
I love it. I love it, and I don't know. I don't have the answer for it, to be quite honest, but it's like that Sasha Fierce.
Yeah.
How Beyonce just turns into that person. That's what happens for me. I just turn into the inner child that I wanted to be out there to entertain or inform or inspire the crowd. Like that's what happens. That's what lights up. So I feel like I'm becoming my inner child, and it just is
Yeah.
amazing.
Stepping into that alter ego. I love that
Yeah.
mindset. And as you mentioned, Beyonce, a lot of performers do that as well. And you got to kind of turn it on to be able to step into it. You talk about too your podcast and you've interviewed a lot of really incredible athletes. How have you found that experience, number one, in pursuing those interviews, but number two, is there a memorable moment that you're like, wow, this one is one of my favorite encounters that I've had on this podcast?
Yes. So I'm bold. I will slide into the DMs and be like, "Hey, I would love for you to share your story." That is step number one. Just going out there, pitching yourself, because I have the luxury of doing this on my own. I'm not with an agency or management yet. So I'm just going out there and reaching out to these athletes like, hey, I would love for you to share your story, because that's another thing. There are so many incredible athletes and even people who work in sports like you and I, journalists and photographers and producers and so on and so forth, where like their stories aren't being shared. So I want this unseen to be seen and the unheard to be heard, if you will. I feel like that's kind of how my motto is, like, be seen. It's
Yeah.
okay to be bold and be brilliant if that's a space you want to be into. So that for me is how I'm able to, capture the talent. I've had Olympic athletes on there, professional WNBA, NBA players. So I'm so excited and grateful for the opportunity, because they see something in it that I'm not even prepared to see at times. It's new, but if you have something you believe in and passionate and it's grounded in something that's really, key, people resonate with it. And in terms of like one of my favorite interviews, I think one I did recently with Olympic fencer. Her name is Nzinga Prescott,
Hmm.
the first Black female fencer to win a medal from the United States. Just hearing her story is so powerful. And her name, Nzinga, she was named after a queen warrior who fought off like colonizers back in Angola. And for her to like live through her name as an Olympic fencer and represent for many Black women, she even has her own peace academy, giving back to the community in a non-traditional sport, I think is just so fascinating because people don't know about this. So
Yeah.
that's something that one of my favorites for now.
I love that. And I think that's, one of the reasons, I don't know about you, but one of the reasons you get into this kind of a business is to tell these stories and to unearth and discover so many incredible stories of people that, maybe you see on a day-to-day basis or maybe you're not as familiar with. But, in terms of what draws you to the world of sports journalism, what is it that you felt so called to that you're like, this is why I want to be in this industry?
I think I serendipitously fell into it. Growing up, my mom, she's from Jamaica, always loved watching track and the Olympics. Like, I just grew up being around sports. I played basketball, competitive cheerleading, lacrosse, tennis. Like, I played it all. And I thought, okay, after high school, I'll go to college. And like, that's kind of the end of the sports journey. But when I went to Penn State, a big sports school, I somehow decided, let me just intern with the football team. It's one of the biggest football teams in the world. And let me intern with the basketball team. And that's how I got my feet into different departments, whether it's the sponsorship side, marketing side, fan engagement side. I was like, okay, I just wanted to do it. And then once I graduated from Penn State, I moved to New York working, in a corporate space. But I was on the train and there was an ad said we're moving to Brooklyn with the New Jersey Nets moved to Brooklyn to become the Brooklyn Nets. And I was like, I wonder if there's an opportunity there. I randomly applied online, not thinking anything of it. And then I was grateful to get the opportunity to work with their game night presentation team, their production team. And ever since I've been there, those opportunities led to different opportunities. I'm just like, wait, I'm like still surrounded by sports.
Yeah.
It wasn't like intentional. I want to work in sports. I couldn't leave it.
Yeah. It's incredible too, and you're doing all of this while also holding a full-time job in education.
Yes.
I mean, I know that you work with College Board, which
Yes.
is a company that designs the AP exams and the SAT exams, and, you mentioned how important education is to you. Obviously, having that as your full-time job, but then also pursuing this passion on the side, how do you balance it?
I that's an excellent question. Some days it's, I don't know. I really don't have that answer. What I will say, I have a great community. My colleagues are amazing. My supervisor supports it and endorses it. And sometimes like, hey, I want to go to a game. Like, how can I get involved? So I'm so grateful to have, sponsors at my organization who enjoys that, because I think something that we have to learn in life is that our jobs are amazing, but we don't want that to be like our only thing or a sense like our identity. Like, we need places to have an outlet, whether you like going to the gym or if you have a family, like it's nice to have that quote unquote work life balance. So for me, the sports world is my gym. The sports world are my kids and family for now.
Yeah.
So I just make it happen. I just make it happen.
Just, when you think about, balancing, your work in education and also just finding your big break in journalism.
Balancing it all. I mean, I just take it day by day. I have to. I have to take it day by day. Here are the priorities today. If it's a game day, I have to obviously kind of, somewhat prioritize that. And I prioritize sleep. I know that sounds like so backwards.
First of all, no,
Yeah.
because it's like they say on the airplane, you gotta put your phone mask on before
Yeah.
assisting others. Like, if your battery isn't charged, I get that.
Yeah. So I prioritize like my mental health and my nervous system. There's a
Mhm.
phrase I've been using, like regulating my nervous system. So I try to get as much sleep as possible. I try to eat proper, get some workouts in, just to like make sure my mental is in a great space so I have that energy and can show up as my full self.
Yeah.
So like if I know there's a game tomorrow, I'm locked in, focusing on that. If I have a big conference or report, like I'm locked in. It's just shifting the priorities at the time. And it comes with sacrifice.
Yeah.
My friends, I'm so grateful friends are still around, but I may not have as much time to hang out with friends, or my social life is being at a game, working at a game. So it's challenging, but I just try to keep one day at a time. Just I have to take it one day at a time because if I look at the larger picture, it gets overwhelming.
Right, exactly. It's like if you look at the entire mountain, it's like, okay, I'm going to get to the top of that. But,
Yeah.
one step at a time is how we got to pursue anything. I mean, education, of course, though, is such a headline in your life. Like when I take a zoom out picture, whether it be from your full time job, but also what you do with giving back through Bold and
Yeah.
Brilliant Life. Why is it so important to you? I mean, I know, obviously, not questioning the value of it, but like certain people feel called to give back so much more. Why was that a calling for you?
I think as an only child, I was very explorative. I was very creative. Like I'm home by myself. I don't have like sisters or siblings, brothers to play with. So I would just look things up on the internet or like learn how to knit. Like I just was very creative and um I wanted to be like seen. I wanted to be like valued because I'm like, oh, I feel alone. Like I don't know. I
Yeah.
just feel like for me, it's so important because I don't want kids to feel alone. I know it's harder today with social media. Like you may have all the friends or, you go to school, but when you come home, it can get really quiet at times. So I
Mm.
just want students to feel like they have a space, some sort of community, some sort of passion because when you're alone and you're overthinking, like so many thoughts can go into your head. So I just want kids to feel like, hey, like you're gonna be great, you're fine, find something you enjoy, learn, and just, like build.
Yeah. Well, and you mentioned social media too. That can be a challenging aspect for adolescents, but it also can be a real tool for somebody who's trying to break into a business like this. And, the way that the industry and the landscape has evolved so much recently, how have you seen social media as an asset in building your brand and building your voice and in pursuing, a larger role in the sports media space?
Social media has been such a transformative space for everyone, especially in this industry, but
Mhm.
exposure and visibility. I question like how am I able to have these incredible hosting opportunities, whether it's been hosting March Madness at Madison Square Garden, which was amazing, or the Big Ten football championship. It's because it's like if they see it, they believe it and they reach out. I don't have management. I don't have like any agent. So it's been so pivotal for me. I will do the cold outreach, or in some cases, someone may find me. So it's literally it's my tool to thrive and literally survive in this space.
Yeah. And how have you managed and navigated that? Because as much as it's like, all right, it's almost a marketing tool at times, but it can get a bit draining. Like you said, you're doing it on your own. How do you kind of balance that?
Yes, that is an excellent question because it is a lot. Social media is so much. And for me, again, I look at the larger picture. Like you have to have a presence out there and you have to work with what works with you for you. I
Yeah.
know there are so many people like post every day, post 3 times a day, or like I have to, maintaining my mental and all that. Like I have to do what works for me. So I set it to my expectations, not like
Mhm.
this expectations of what the society or like the industry may say. So for me, it's just like working at my pace and also recognizing like what's for you will be for you,
Yeah.
especially as a host in this industry. The amount of rejections you get, it's hard. I give a lot of credit to actors. Like I don't know how they continue, you know, rehearsing or trying out for roles because the amount of no's are just like
Yeah.
insane. So for me, like I have to keep pushing. I have to keep pushing and
Yeah.
not take that seriously because there was a point where those rejections again that was my identity. I'm like, I'm not good enough. This is not for me. Like I took those rejections like I am not good enough. And that's literally where the bold and brilliant life mindset came in. It's like it's not me, it's just the circumstance. And in some cases it could be me. Who knows? But I cannot take it personal and I have to look at something bigger. And I
Right.
think that's where like the bold and brilliant life framework came in and just that mindset because yes, you would love to have the opportunity to host at this event or this,
Yeah.
sporting team. But it's really bigger than that. It's really your life and your emotion should not be tied to a gig.
Yeah.
That's my experience.
And that's so true too, because it is such a subjective business. And that's the advice that I often give to like
Yeah.
younger people in this industry is that you got to be okay with hearing no a lot and you will get 1,000 rejections, but you need just one yes. And that's the one that matters. And, as you said earlier, you got to have that belief in what's for you is going to unfold for you.
Yeah.
And if it's a no, then perhaps that wasn't your path and that's okay. And, there's so many things that I personally look back on that I was devastated I didn't get and then in hindsight, it worked out for the better.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that perspective. And I think that, as yourself too, having been in this industry for some years now, when you look back, is there a piece of advice that you would give, whether it's to your younger self or to people who are just stepping foot into this process and saying, like, how do I even begin to pursue that?
Well, to begin to pursue that, you have to do it. You
Yeah.
have to do it. You have to believe it. So by doing it, you go to your local high school or community sports team and do hosting there or report on their team there. Like it's all about, I think we focus on like you have to be with a big entity in order to quote unquote make it. But no, you can make it anywhere. You
Right.
can make it with your local gym. You can make it literally anywhere. So start with what you have in your current surrounding and lean there. And then social media is powerful. Just keep posting about it, keep sharing it because it's that proof of concept. You build that proof of concept and then people will latch on because once they see it, they'll
Yeah.
believe it. But if you're like, hey, I want to do it, they're like, oh, it's like that cycle. Okay, do you have experience? I don't have experience, but I need experience. Can you give me experience? So it's like that whole cycle. You are the experience, create the experience, and then everything will just eventually build.
Right. And as I mentioned too, with that power of social media too, you've got an outlet and a medium to put
Yeah.
that out there and show, hey, here's what I can do. How do we build this into something bigger?
Yeah, and I think it's interesting because and that's something I'm working through too with social media and just all, it's a whole different era, but like people love the humans.
Yeah.
They want to get to know the person, which is weird for me and I imagine for you like as journalists we're trained to like not be biased, like
Not be the story. Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
not be the story.
Mhm.
That is literally what it is. So I'm literally unwiring that, relearning that, and that is so hard. So, but
It's like a
that's what
balance of being authentically yourself while also not taking the oxygen away from the story you're trying to tell.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love it. Well, and also living a bold and brilliant life is important for all of us. I love that as a mantra too, and as a content platform and everything that you're doing. Bianca
Thank
Peart,
you.
thank you so much for taking the time and for this conversation. And for everyone out there listening, let them know where they can find you.
Thank you so much. You can find me. We were talking about social media on social media at Bold and Brilliant Life or my personal social media at Bianca Peart. I have a website, biancapeart.com, and we also have a boldandbrilliant.org if you want to learn about how we can go to your schools or work with your students on how to live a bold and brilliant life. We will connect with you there.
I love it. I love it. Bianca Peart, thanks for joining this episode of Her Playbook brought to you by Kendra Scott.